Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Renu Sharma. Today we're going to talk about first things you have to do once you land over here in Canada. But prior to that, I would like to cover a bit of information like things you have to take care of while you're still packing your bags and or in process of PR. A few things you have to do before coming down to Canada. So first and foremost, you have to make sure that you get your antibiotics with prescriptions. That's very important. There is a free healthcare here, but medicines are way expensive, so you have to make sure that you get all the antibiotics and get the prescription from the doctors for all your family members. The second thing, make sure if you have a small one or even for yourself, like whatever the treatment you're going through or the vaccination you have for your kids, or even a treatment what your child is going through, make sure you have the detailed information of that, because first thing, once you land over here, you have to meet up with a doctor and they're going to ask that thing, so keep that thing in your mind. Thirdly, you have to get any kind of dentistry whatsoever pending, just get it done back there in India. Dentistry is way expensive, like if you have any tooth canal or cleaning of your teeth, so make sure you get it done so that you should be good at least for 1 year till the time you get or land up with a good job. The fourth thing, now eye care is covered, it's covered, but eyeglasses are really expensive. Like I usually buy my own reading glasses or computer glasses during the time of Black Friday or New Year, so I'm sure you don't want to wait for that time. So make sure you get the glasses, at least 3-4 pairs before coming down here. Now the fifth thing, you have to make sure that you exchange your currency into Canadian dollars. So the moment you land here, if you're going to hire a cab or if you have any prior arrangements, you can make the payment, like you can process it, since you will not have a bank account the moment you step onto the land. So yeah, these are the 5 things you have to be extra cautious before making a plan. So now let's move on to things you have to take care once you land over here in Canada. Alright, so now let's discuss the things you have to take care of when you land over here in Canada. So I have divided this part in three points. So let's discuss the first and foremost thing, what you have to do once you land over here in Canada. So you have to activate your PR. The COPR and the visa document what you have received during the time of immigration, that's a confirmation of your permanent residency. You have to activate it once you land over here. It's usually done at the first port of entry. So during this process, immigration officer would review your documents and just evaluate a bit, and probably would kind of do a bit of interview, and then he would stamp the documents. So that's called activating your permanent residency. The second thing you have to do is apply for SIN. That SIN card, it's called Social Insurance Number. It's a 9-digit unique identification number. So that's given by the government, so you can have an access to all the government programs and benefits. This is also an identity proof, and no company would hire you if you don't have a SIN card. So that's very important. So keep that thing in mind. Also, it's you have to be very cautious. Like you should not share your SIN number with anyone. Like you should never do that. It's confidential. The third one is you have to apply for your PR. That's permanent residency. So during the time of landing, visa officer already has interviewed you, so you have to give the address, like a accurate address. If you already made the booking of your accommodation while you are in your place, like in India or anywhere, so you have to give that address. So the PR card can be delivered there. It usually takes 4 to 6 weeks, so depending upon case to case. So these are the first 3 things you have to do. Now moving on to next 3 things. All right, so after applying for your PR card and your SIN card, you have to take care of other set of three things. The first is you have to get your healthcare card. Now, healthcare in Canada is funded by government, and you'll be eligible in case if you have your healthcare card. So do apply it for all your family members. Now, majority of services are covered by government, but there are services which will not be covered, like your dentistry, ambulance and all. Now, the services which will be covered is usually, if you have any kind of surgery, or there's an expecting mom, you could always get it done without any cost. Also, you don't have to shell out even a single penny out of your pocket if you're meeting a doctor for consultation. That's so very important. Once you land over here, you have to meet up with your doctor, so that's very, very important. You get this thing done. Secondly, you have to get a local SIM card. Now over here we have a lot of mobile service providers like Rogers, Telus, Bell, Freedom, Kudu. So depending upon provinces also, and they offer really good plan. And as I mentioned before, you just have to negotiate a bit. You will be able to land up with very good plan, at least for the initial phase. Thirdly, you have to open your bank account and apply for your credit card. Now, you have to take a prior appointment in the bank, so just call up and then take an appointment. To open a bank account, usually you're going to need three set of documents, like your COPR, that's a confirmation of permanent residency. The second should be your SIN, social insurance number, and in case if you don't have that, just show them that you've applied for it. Then third is your landing papers or your passports. So that's very important. Yeah. Now let's discuss about other three things which we have to take into our account. All right, so after opening your bank account and getting your SIN card, there are other three set of things you have to take into account. The first and foremost is get your transit card. I'm sure that once you land over here, it will be difficult for you, some of you, to travel by car. In case if you already have the international driving license, that's highly recommended. It's valid over here in Canada for initial 3 months. That 90 days you can actually drive here. Now, let me remind you, we have a right side driving, so just be careful with that. But in case if any of you don't have the international driving license and you have to commute by public transport, you need to buy a transit card. That's going to cost you, a monthly cost for an adult would be $109, and for a child above the age of 5 would be $79. Now, under the age of 5, they can enjoy free ride. Now moving on to our next requirement, that would be finding an accommodation. Now many of you might have booked in accommodation while you're planning to come down over here in Canada through Airbnb, or there are Facebook pages. But in case if you don't have that, so just keep in mind that you have to get it done. Now this again can be done easily either by visiting settlement agencies. They can also help you, but in case if you want to try it on your own, there are Facebook pages. Then we have Kijiji over here, and then there's Rent Hello and other websites, and I'm gonna give the link in the description box so it will be easier for you. Now during the time when you're meeting a landlord or for renting out accommodation, you have to provide with certain documents. Since you will be new, you don't have any credit history, so you have to provide with your bank details. So that was the thing I told you earlier, that you have to get your bank account in order to make sure that things should fall in place. Now after that, I would recommend to apply for childcare benefit. Now, your children below the age of 16 would be eligible for a set amount of money that would be funded by the government. So for each child below the age of 16, we have a different criteria. So let's discuss that. All right, so under childcare benefit, one family would be entitled to $1,330 for the first child on a yearly basis. So if you calculate on month to month, it would come $110.83. And for the second child onwards, it would be $665 per year. So that would be $55.41 per month. All right, so after finding an accommodation and applying for your childcare benefit, there are other three set of things you have to take into account. First and foremost, you have to visit the settlement agencies. Now, order to ensure that you can have a good livelihood, you need to meet with settlement executives over here. Now, initially, they would be surviving jobs you might have to do, like at Walmart, superstore, or gas station. I know it sounds little challenging, but these are the surviving jobs. I'm not saying that you won't be able to get the job the moment you land over here, but for initial phase you have to prepare yourself for interview. There are instances where people do prepare before coming down here in India. Like in our case, let me just share a quick example here. My husband got the job before coming down here in Canada. It's just that maybe because he had contacts, but again, it's for everybody, so you have to meet with somebody at settlement agencies. They can really help you. They can actually guide you on how to make your CV, like your resume, in detailed way, how it can be job centric and how you can customize it, based upon job to job. This I am going to cover for sure in future videos, like how you can customize your CV depending upon the job requirement. Now, moving on to the second requirement you need to do is get your driving license. So if you have international driving license, you can simply drive over here onto the right side for initial 90 days, but you have to appear for the test, like for the normal category. You have to first do the written test. That's gonna comprise of, I think, 30 questions. That's what I remember, like 4 years ago. And after that, there would be a vision test. They're gonna check your eye test and everything. And then there would be a road test. So you have to book for that road test. There are driving schools that can help you so that you can have a good grip onto right side driving, and that shouldn't take more than a month or so it should be done. Now, after getting your driving thing, you have to buy a car in case if you're planning to. Buying a car here needs 3 set of documents. The first one is you need to have the driving license. The second one, you need to have an insurance policy. And the third one, you have to have the vehicle registration. These are the 3 mandatory requirements one have to accomplish. Now, in this case, you can always lease a car, like if you're planning to buy a new car. My recommendation would be to go with the used one because they are most affordable, and at this point of time you don't want to shell out too much of money. All right, so seems to be things are getting settled over here. You've got the accommodation, you've got the car. Now, next thing you have to take into account your job preparation. I know it's challenging to do surviving job, but I would strongly recommend don't depend on them for a long time. It's going to be a little tiring for sure. So keep preparing yourself for a job in your domain, like in your segment. So first and foremost thing you have to take into account that never ever send your general resume to each and every company. That's my experience too, that if you are applying for a job which is not demanding too many degrees, so I'm not saying that you have to hide your masters. You can just show your bachelor's. You don't have to do that. Like, you have to customize or little tweak according to the requirement. That's very important. And even the settlement agency would advise you the same thing. Always try to customize your resume as per the job requirement. There are many websites where you can apply for a job over here. Indeed is one of them. Then is Google Jobs. Then is LinkedIn, Workopolis, and even Glassdoor. So you can always apply through it. I'm going to send this information also in the description box, so many of you can have a benefit through that. After that, you have to apply for like a library card. Now over here in Calgary, we don't have to pay anything. It's a free card. Now in Canada, library is little different. Like I remember while I was in Chandigarh, libraries meant only for the books and there were no other features. So over here you will get each and everything. Like you will be able to get free Wi-Fi, even laptops are provided there. There are a lot of DVDs, books, movies. Like if you have kids and you're feeling bored, you can always have an access to these things, like reading materials. Even the study material is also there. Like now my kids are registered for online classes, so I'm getting all the books from there only, the science, maths and everything. So it will be easy for newcomers also to understand the study pattern over here. So get that thing also. And third, in case if you don't have have the exchanged your money into Canadian dollars, so get it done also. So these are the three things you have to take into account, and rest I've already covered. So I hope this actually has helped you a lot, and if you have any questions you can always write back to me. So yeah, stay tuned, and if you like my channel, please subscribe to it. Until then, stay safe.